up my friend yours, Travis Scott.
I missed it. Biscuit, we're best friends. We're best friends. We're best friends. Hey, so like Jared said, my name is Travis, and I get the opportunity to speak with y'all tonight. So this is the first real club of the semester, so welcome. So y'all are here. To start, I want to ask y'all about a time where you think you might have gotten something you might not think you deserved. Something that was a surprise, but something that was like a great, undeserved surprise. I know for me, when I was in high school, at the homecoming game for my school, there was a raffle going on where if you submitted your name or this ticket, you would get a free car. And it was a brand new Jeep. And I remember my mom submitted a ticket, and then I was playing football and I went to the locker room at halftime. And then I came back out, and my dad came up to me and said, "Hey, you know that Jeep, y'all just won it in the raffle." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's insane." And then my parents were like, "Hey, the Jeep was free, so it's going to be your car now." And I was like, wow, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I did nothing, and I got a brand new car. And I didn't deserve it, and I did nothing to earn it, but I had a new car. And so that's what I want y'all to think about as I keep talking. So if y'all came to Dodgeball last week, y'all heard Skate talk about what is Young Life and what it is we do here and why us leaders come and we want to hang out with y'all every Monday night and why we come to lunches and sporting events and we spend time with y'all and want to get to know y'all. Skate also talked about how everything that it says in the Bible is 100% true. How everything us leaders say to y'all up on this stage is going to be 100% true because it's from the Bible, and the Bible's straight from God, and He gave it to us so that we can read it and learn and know more about Him. And some of y'all might have been coming to Young Life for a couple of years now. Some of y'all, this might be your very first time, and you might have sat out there on Monday nights and thought, hey, like, these stories you're telling, they're great. They're super cool. I like listening to all these miracles Jesus did and how much He loves us. But that's not really for me. You see, I've done a lot of bad things. You might be thinking, I'm not deserving of that love. I've done nothing to earn it. Jesus sounds cool, but He's not really for me. I don't understand why I would get that, why He would be so good to me. And we come up with these excuses, and we make these excuses for ourselves, and we keep telling ourselves this, about how we don't deserve this love, about how there's no way Jesus was really for us, and we tell ourselves these lies. But I'm here up here on the stage this week to tell y'all that none of those are true, that you do deserve it, that Jesus does love you personally, that He came down to earth and He lived and He walked and died on the cross because He wants to know you, because He wants to have a relationship with you. He wants to get you know you every single second of every single day. So I'm going to read a story from the Bible that talks more about that. And the story that I'm going to read is about this guy named Zacchaeus. And it's in Luke 19, verse 1. It says, He entered Jericho and was passing through. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was rich. So before I go any farther, I want to tell y'all about tax collectors in the time of Jesus. See, tax collectors were known as the worst of the worst. Everyone hated tax collectors. They were known as liars, cheaters, thieves. Just like today, where we have to pay our taxes, you also had to pay taxes in Jesus' time. But see, the tax collectors would add extra taxes onto the end, and they'd keep that money for themselves, way more than what was necessary. Or they'd even just make up taxes that didn't exist so that they could take that money, so they could become more rich, more powerful. And see, no one could say no because the government supported the tax collectors, and they basically, if you decide not to pay your taxes, you'd be arrested, you'd be thrown in jail, and they'd take everything you own, and you'd be left with nothing. And so these tax collectors just took advantage of everyone. They're the worst of the worst. No one liked them. And the guy the story is about, his name was Zacchaeus. He was the chief tax collector. He was the head guy. So everyone knew who Zacchaeus was. Everyone hated Zacchaeus. Everyone knew he was stealing from people. He was lying to them. He was making himself rich and powerful. So he was the worst of the worst, the bottom of the line. So if we keep reading, we can learn more about Zacchaeus. It said, And he was seeking to see who Jesus was. But on account of the crowd, he could not because he was small in stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was about to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. And so at this time in Jesus' life, he'd been going around and he'd been doing all these miracles that if you become the Young Life, you hear us talk about. See, he'd fed 5,000 people with a couple fish and a few loaves of bread. He'd given sight to people who'd been blind for their entire life. He healed people back from the brink of death who were about to die. And people had heard about him. Word spread fast, and people were talking about Jesus. He was a celebrity. He was the biggest name in the world at that point. So crowds would come from everywhere because they wanted to hear him talk. They wanted to hear him tell people how to live their life. People wanted to know more about him, so they just wanted to be close to him. There was this huge crowd following him, listening to him talk. And Zacchaeus was a short man. He couldn't see over this crowd. But he was just like everyone else. He wanted to see Jesus. He wanted to see what this was all about. So as he ran up and he climbed up in a tree, and he climbed in a tree not to get recognition, not so he could be known, but just because he wanted to get a sight of Jesus. So Jesus comes up to the tree and he says, "Hey, Zacchaeus, come down. I'm going to eat with you." And so imagine how Zacchaeus felt when this happened. Zacchaeus knows that he's the lowest of the low. He knows everyone hates him. Jesus is this figure that most people love and they look up to and they all want to be around. Zacchaeus is the complete opposite. Everyone hates him. They want to get rid of him. They don't want him around ever. And so I'm sure Zacchaeus' heart dropped. You know that feeling when you know you've done something wrong and your mom calls you from the other room and she's like, "Hey, come here, we need to talk," and your heart just drops and you're just so nervous and you're thinking about everything wrong you've ever done? I'm sure Zacchaeus was feeling that exact same feeling because he'd done so much wrong, and I'm sure he thought Jesus was going to tell him right there, "You're a horrible person. I don't love you. I'm never going to do anything for you." I'm sure all this was going through Zacchaeus' head as he got called. He was telling himself all these lies about what Jesus was going to say to him. So keep reading and we see what happens. It says, "So he hurried and came down and received them joyfully. And when they saw it, they all grumbled. 'He has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner.'" So like I said, everyone hated Zacchaeus. They thought he was the worst of the worst. They didn't want to be around him ever. And when they saw Jesus go be with them, they said, "Wait, why is Jesus going to be with him? Why isn't he going to be with someone who does good? Someone who deserves to be with him. Someone who is good and needs Jesus to come eat with them. Zacchaeus is a sinner. He's done all these bad things. Why would Jesus spend time with him? Why doesn't he go spend time with the people who deserve him, who've done all this good in their life, who need him around?" So we can keep reading and see what Jesus says to that. It says, "And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, 'Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold.' And Jesus said to him, 'Today salvation has come to this house, since he also is the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost.'" See, all those things the crowd were saying about Zacchaeus, how he didn't deserve Jesus, how he was bad, so Jesus shouldn't go hang out with them. We say those same things to ourselves. We make all these excuses like, "Jesus could never love me, I'm not good. Look at all the bad things I've done. He could never come and want to love me, want to get to know me." But Jesus said, "For the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost." He didn't say he came to go to the people who had done good all their lives. He didn't come to the people who have everything together, who look like they have it all together on the outside. He came for people like me, for people like y'all. We don't have it all together. We think we've done bad. We think we don't deserve them. But he came for us anyway, because he loves us so much. Matthew 9:13 says this, "For I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners." See, we go in our lives thinking that we need to do all these things and act a certain way for Jesus to love us. We have to say all of the right things, do all of the right things, or else we don't deserve him, or else this just stories. Stories that we get to listen to and sound cool, but they don't apply to us at all. But see, Jesus came down for the sinners. He came down for the people who do wrong. But see, it doesn't matter anything we've done in the past or anything we're going to do. Ephesians 2:8-9 says this, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast." It says it's a gift of God. There's nothing we've ever done in our past, nothing we're ever going to do in our future that's going to make Jesus love us any more or any less than he does now. See, Jesus came down to give us a free gift, that we can have a relationship with him, that we can be loved by him. He wants to get to know us more and more every single second of every single day, and all we have to do is choose to be with him. All we have to do is turn towards him and choose to be with him. See, Zacchaeus was the worst of the worst. He was just sitting in a tree so he could see Jesus, but Jesus called him down and said, "I want to spend time with you." And Jesus does that same thing for us. No matter what we've done, no matter what we're going to do, he loves us and he wants to get to know us because it's a free gift. And all we have to do is turn and accept it. So a couple questions before I finish up. What are things you have in your life that keep you from thinking you're not worthy? What are things that make you think you don't deserve God or you don't deserve this love? So I'm going to pray for us real quick. Hey, Jesus, thank you for this time. Thank you for Monday nights. Thank you for Young Life. Thank you that we can come and play games and have fun and eat worms, and it's awesome. Thank you for loving us. Thank you that we don't have to do anything to deserve it, but you're always going to be there for us. Amen. Hey, so now we're going to go to McDonald's. So if you need a ride, let one of the leaders know.